Annyeong. The question that I get asked all the time is how I learned Korean. I thought it's finally time for me to make a video about this. So welcome to how I learned Korean. Everything started 10 years ago when I was in high school. It was a long time ago, I know. At the time, I started watching K-dramas. For 2 years, I watched maybe 100 dramas, literally. Like, I spent a few hours every day watching dramas. You know, kids, when they're growing up, when they're learning their mother tongue, they're not actively trying to learn a language. It's just like they're surrounded by the language at home, like their parents speak that language to them, and at some point they just start speaking it like naturally. And I think that's kind of what happened to me when I was watching dramas. I did not plan to learn the language, but after being surrounded by this language for 2 years, I just gradually, like naturally, started picking up on some grammatical structures and expressions and words. And at the same time, there was a Korean girl who was in my high school. She was doing an exchange program in France. After becoming friends with her and talking a lot to her, that kind of gave me the idea of doing the same in Korea. So from that time, I started learning more actively Korean. I started learning Hangul, for example. I don't remember how I learned it. I don't think it was from a YouTube video. I know some people use YouTube to learn Hangul, which can be a great resource. But I think I bought a book, but I don't remember which one it was. But I bought a few books at the time, but they're in French. Like, I had this little book. I had also this one, which was a bit better. And I was just learning Hangul. It was such a long time ago. It's so weird to look at this. But yeah, anyway, I started learning more actively to prepare for my new life in Korea. And yeah, I also bought this book, which is thick. It's a grammar book. This one is in English. And this one is not a fun book. It's just grammar, just text for like over 400 pages. I did not read all of it, obviously. I would say that after 2 years of watching dramas and also buying some textbooks to learn Korean more academically, I think my level allowed me to have some daily conversations with people. So when I arrived in Korea, it was August 2017. The plan for the year was I stayed in Korean homestay families. For 1 year, I stayed in 3 different families. And I went to school, like a normal Korean high school. It was like a girls' high school, so I did the full experience, like with the uniform and everything. So I would say that when I arrived in Korea, I had a level where I could still have daily conversations. Of course, I still lacked a lot of vocabulary, but it was still enough to understand some stuff and also to be understood. And the thing is, from the beginning, I spoke Korean to people. Even though I was still a beginner, I forced myself to speak Korean and not English. I'm sure that some of my friends at high school could have understood English, but I still forced myself to speak Korean because I think if you get used to speaking in English, which is more convenient, it's hard to try to speak Korean afterwards. So I was surrounded by Korean. During the day, I was at school with my friends. I was listening to classes in Korean. And then at night, I was at home, like with my families, speaking Korean. So 24/7, I was just fully immersed. And I could only speak Korean and listen to Korean all day long for a year. So after 1 year in Korea, my level definitely improved a lot. So I went from beginner, but I was not beginner, but like, yeah, I went from still like beginner to, I would say, it was not advanced, but like I could have most conversations as long as it was not really deep. So after 1 year in Korea, I decided to start Korean studies at university. I went back to France and I started a Korean studies major for my bachelor's degree. I also did after that a master's in Korean as well. This university degree, I would not say that it helped me a lot to improve my Korean because I had already spent 1 year in Korea. When I arrived at university, they started teaching Hangul and like the basics of Korean. So of course it was not really helpful to me, but I guess it helped me maintain my level and not forget what I had learned. So it was still good. And also the best part about my degree is that it gave me the opportunity to spend 2 more years in Korea 1 year during my bachelor's and 1 year during my master's. I forgot to say, all of this happened in Busan. Like the first year that I spent in the Korean high school was in Busan. At that time, I did not choose the city that I was going to spend the year in. So it was Busan. I really liked it. And so I chose to go back to Busan for my university exchange. And these 2 years in Korea definitely helped me improve my Korean so much more than the first year that I spent in high school. Because in high school, I was surrounded by teenagers that have, I guess, a limited vocabulary. We always have the same conversations about everyday life, like about school. It was helpful a lot, of course, but in university, I was going to class and everything was in Korean, and like the level of speech that the Korean professors use at university is so much higher than what I could hear during my first year in Korea. These 2 years spent in Korean university helped me get a lot more of vocabulary, more difficult words, more academic language. This is when I got topic 6, the highest level of the Korean topic exam. I would say that I had it the easy way, because I know that some people don't have the opportunity to go to Korea. Maybe you don't even have a university near your house where you can do Korean studies. So a lot of people do self-study at home. I know a lot of you guys are learning at home. I was lucky to be able to do all of these experiences, and being fully immersed in the culture was the best way for me to learn Korean. As I said, I think it's like kids who just learn naturally from what they hear at home. I think when I was in Korea, the first year, my brain kind of went into survival mode. I needed to speak Korean to go about my daily life. So yeah, living in Korea was the best way that made me improve my Korean. The important thing as well is that during all of this time, from the time I first started learning actively Korean until now, I never stopped speaking Korean. During these 10 years, I spent 3 years in Korea. All of the other 7 years, I was in France. But I always spoke Korean no matter what. I tried to make some Korean friends when I was in France to keep practicing. At the beginning, I used some apps like HelloTalk. Everyone knows this app. It's great if you want to practice, if you don't have any Korean friends living in your city. This is the only way. So yeah, I always tried to practice. I kept in touch with my homestay families, with my high school friends, for example. And I tried to always stay surrounded by this language. Also, I was going to uni, so this was helpful. Of course, like after some time, when I was back in France after high school, I lost my Korean a little bit. After you've spent a year in Korea, if you go back to your country, of course you're gonna lose some fluency. If you try to speak the most you can, if you try to make friends, even online friends, this can be helpful. It was helpful for me to maintain my level. So yeah, this is pretty much how I learned Korean. Don't hesitate to ask me any questions. I'll try to answer most of them. If you have questions about how my Korean high school experience was, I can also make a video about that. I think it would be fun. I have a lot of stories that happened during that time. Yeah, anyway, any questions, ask in the comments. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.